What is up, everybody? This is Jeff with jmkride here, and today we were inspired to bring you this video from some posts by the community, kind of mentioning the steepness of hills and like what's the steepest hill you can climb on Freeskates. And this is super interesting fact because both Matt and I really don't have a upper limit on how steep the hill is. I mean, after a little bit, like, it just becomes walking. So when I saw this post, I remembered a time when Gabe, Matt, and I had been filming out on the boardwalk of Crown Point, and we saw this like really steep hill. It was kind of rocky, but it was really cool how steep it was, and it was kind of a challenge. So I was like, let's just like film ourselves going up this hill to show how it's done. And I think it produced some really cool footage. So let's check that out and let's talk about how you go up the steepest hills on Freeskates. So you may be wondering, like, Jeff, you've already made a video about how to pump. Why are you making another video on pumping? And the answer is because uphill pumping is a whole different ballgame. You'll notice that the pumping that I'm doing in this video is like, it looks almost asymmetric or irregular. You'll notice I use a lot more of my front leg than my back leg, and all of these are like key techniques to getting you up hills. So the first thing that you should notice when you see this footage is just how far forward and backwards my legs are moving. This indicates like a high magnitude of pump, and I do this when I'm going slowly and need to accelerate, because you have the most leverage against the ground. It becomes the easiest way to accelerate when you're pumping with a really high magnitude. Now, when you're starting off, this is gonna be super uncomfortable. Like right when you begin, you like to do these little tiny S motion curves, and that's great for getting you know, from point A to point B, as long as there's no hills in between. So by increasing the magnitude of your pump, you're actually also increasing the angle that you turn your feet. So my front foot is almost pointing straight uphill at some points. And when your front foot is pointing uphill, you can literally pull on that foot. So that's kind of helping you go uphill, is when you're at your peak angle of the pump, you can pull through that motion and get yourself up that hill. That's part one, high magnitude of pump. So the second thing you'll notice as I'm forcing my way up this hill is that my arms and my shoulders are swinging around like crazy. And there is a method to that madness. It really helps to use the momentum of your upper body and your body in general to push you through the pumping motion when you're going up steep hills. Let's take a look at how you do that. In this case, what works is having your front arm and front shoulder lead your front foot. So in my case, it's my right foot. You can see that in this position, my right foot is farthest out here, so it's about to turn. My toe is about to point uphill, and I'm about to pull it inwards. So my shoulder is gonna go back, my arm is gonna swing back, and it's gonna lead that foot so that the foot can pull through even easier. And now I'm getting ready for the next part of the pump, which is my shoulder comes forward, I'm gonna lean forward, and my arm is gonna swing forward. And you'll see that happen first. There's my arm and shoulder, and then it's followed by my foot. So it really is twist your body, follow through with the legs. Yeah, yeah.
All your weight's kind of more on your front foot.
Yep. Come swap out.
Hey guys. I know that Jeff already said it before, but upper body is key. Swing your upper body as much as possible, left to right, and your legs just kind of follow. And it'll show it here. When I'm swinging my upper body, my shoulder is here and my foot's following. It's actually behind. So left, my foot's just following. And my upper body is actually more than my lower body. Huge keep factor. And back to Jeff.
All right, thanks, Matt. The last thing that I want to point out here is how much more pumping I'm doing with my front foot than I am with my back foot. Specifically, you can see I'm really leaned forward, so a lot of my weight is on my front foot. And you can also look at the actual path of my front foot versus my back foot and notice that my front foot is doing way bigger motions than my back foot. So this is important to get you uphill because, I don't know, it's easier to pull yourself up with your front foot than it is to be pushing yourself with your back foot. Now this isn't to say that your back foot is gonna just be dragging along and be pulled by your front foot. Your back foot is essential in counterbalancing your front foot. Like when your front foot is doing a huge move, your back foot needs to be there to counteract that move. We can even look at Matt and prove the exact same thing. So let's see how much farther his front foot moves. All right. See his back foot versus front foot? Boom. Now this is perfect here. Actually, Matt's technique is like, look at this. Look at his arm, look how exaggerated that is. That's perfect. So his arm is swinging back, his shoulder is gonna go back, and then his foot's gonna turn and follow his body. Now, he's in the position where he's gonna swing his arm forward, and his foot's gonna follow forward. Boom. And you can also tell right here how much more work his front foot is doing, where his back foot is just there to balance. So those are the three things. I think we covered it. So higher magnitude of pump. You're gonna wanna put your whole body into it. You're gonna be throwing your shoulder forward, throwing it backwards to try and help. And 3, you're gonna wanna be leaning forward, putting most of your weight on your front foot. That's not to say neglect your back foot because it's there for balance, but most of the action is gonna happen in your front foot. And combining these 3, you can get up these crazy steep hills. Like, I don't know if you saw, but that random dude was using this hill to work out, you know, so people use it in place of stairs. So it's a pretty steep hill. It's really rocky. Any kind of wheeled sport would have difficulty going up it, but it's possible on Freeskates with proper technique, and that's kind of what I wanted to showcase in this video. Last thing I'll say is that this technique came after years and years of just personally riding around and getting a feel for what helps me accelerate the best. As with all things in free skating, it's gonna take practice and dedication, but maybe these tips will help you kind of focus on the things that will help you gain speed and go up steep hills. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comments below. I'm sure we're gonna generate some questions here, so feel free to comment below or make a post on USA Free Skaters to keep the discussion going. That's kind of the inspiration of this video, so just wanna shout out to all you guys in our community. Just this week we launched our Discord, so if you're not on that, make sure to check it out. Come chat with us. Make sure you subscribe for more tutorials in the future. We're gonna be putting out a 1-foot tutorial in a little bit, and just gonna keep the content coming, so subscribe. Roll with us.